Hello, welcome to the first part of a hopefully long-running series where I go through all the years of films and just track the evolution. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. We're going to go through all the different years of cinema, starting from the very beginning to the present day. So we're to see the evolution of just, not only how film has changed, but how the world has changed. You don't have to watch the films that I'm talking about, but because I will be relatively spoiler-free where I can be. But yeah, this will just act as a good history lesson. But I just need to start this one off by saying that whether I'm starting in the 1800s, I would happily love to do top 10 films of the 1890, top 10 films in 1891, top 10 films in 1892, etc. But there's such few films from the 1800s. It's too hard to make top 10 lists for each of those years. So I'm just going to do top 10 1800s. Then we'll go into 1900 and see how we go from there. But that doesn't matter. Right now, we'll do the 1800s, which is, this is a very primitive form of film. Before I start this list, I just want to record this information. I have seen a total of 22 films from the 1800s as of the time this video is uploaded. So let's get started with number 10, which is Child Bringing Bouquet to a Woman. You can't really say a lot about this. It's exactly what the title suggests. It's a child bringing a bouquet to a woman. As you'll see from the rest of this list, it's hard to make a top 10 because there's really such few things to choose from. Where I think this film sort of stands out a little bit is just the actual framing and the composition of the shot. It's quite artistic. It has a painting-esque sort of quality to it, which some of these don't really have. They're literally just like, oh, let's see if we can record a man walking around. It's more just to test the camera, but this actually has some sort of like thought-out shot composition with the imagery and stuff. There's something there. Very simple stuff. And for my number 9 film, we have leisurely pedestrians, open-topped buses, hansom cabs, and trotting horses. Yeah, that is correct. With trotting horses, sorry. I have to give this one a shout out because it's made by a Bath or Bristol filmmaker, I can't remember, but he's a local filmmaker from the 1800s, William Freeze Green. Yeah, this is one of the earliest Bristol filmmaker films, so I got to give it that historical sort of respect. This is just a quick shot of what the title says, but it manages to capture a point in time very well. This film, he went out and he thought, what can I sort of do with this new invention of mine? And he recorded the current time period, and that guy did a good job at archiving the point of time and place. Number 8, we have La Homme Machine, which is a French film, obviously, and stands out because it's a very, very, very early instance of stop motion. There's a bit more energy to this film. It's not really that complex, but shit's moving around. It's cool. This is pretty damn impressive, really. It's definitely pushing the boundaries compared to a lot of these. So I have to give some credit to La Homme Machine for what it is. My number 7 spot is Monkeyshines No1, which again has respect for pushing the boundaries in a different way. They managed to sort of manipulate different camera settings with different light settings and things to create this quite creepy, eerie, distorted figure thing. I actually have a theory, maybe I'll do a video on it at some point, but I reckon that this film inspired certain imagery in the series Twin Peaks. I will put a comparison of the two shots, but maybe that's a video for another time. Number 6 is The Kiss, because it's interesting historically. I think it was the first peep show things. You'd put a little bit of money and you'd look through and you'd see that kiss. Apparently that was what people used to do. What a load of bollocks. The way that this shot looks, the way this kiss is, it's the first Hollywood kiss. You see this kiss, it echoes across all films from after this point. It's like the very first version of that. It's an interesting historical thing. At number 5, we have Poor Pierrot. This is like kind of nuts for the time. Not only is it the first animated film that I can find myself, unless you count the stop motion one, but properly in terms of an animated film with like characters and stuff, this is the first animated film that I can find. This is one of the earliest colour films that I've been able to find, and it's also one of the first narrative films that I've been able to find. It has a fairly, I think like a 6-minute runtime or something, and there's actually a little bit of a story here about how some guy comes to a castle and he's trying to get the girl, and it's made up of 500 individual paintings. So massive respect to this film, really damn cool. it did so many things first and doesn't get anywhere near the amount of respect. Everyone refers to different things when they say the first use of colour and the first animation and the first narrative. Every time you look that up or someone tells you like, oh yeah, the first narrative, that's that one. But yeah, this is before most of those, and it manages, yeah, it's just kind of way ahead of its time and doesn't get much love. So I think it deserves some recognition. Number 4 is The Execution of Mary Queen of Scots. The reason I'm putting this one so high up is because it's the first use of the jump cut, first instances of cutting, of, you know, sort of visual trickery and effects. We haven't really seen such before. The way that it's done is, I'm going to make a quick version of it actually, a quick really bad version of it. I'm Mary Queen of Scots, right here. This is how far we've come, how I can quickly make this in like 10 seconds. But bet skewered, here comes the axe. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I bet that version came out really badly. But that's what they did essentially, they cleverly cut things together, and it's pretty damn seamless, honestly. I can imagine this would scare the shit out of people in the 1800s. They'd be like, what the fuck? Did I just see that? Did I just see a beheading? At number 3, holy shit, this is a step up in terms of things that are going on. Now we're sort of entering the cinema of attractions, you know, so as this is sort of a half sort of educational series, I guess. Cinema of attractions, sort of pioneered by a filmmaker, Georges Méliès, French filmmaker. The films I've been talking about so far, they're just sort of like figuring out the cameras. But cinema of attractions sort of picked up, especially in the early 1900s, and that was the name of films that came out for theme parks type of thing. You'd have, first famous examples is the arrival of a train, where a train comes in and everyone was like, whoa, this is an awesome little sort of gimmick thing. It was like going to the circus or whatever. It was the same sort of idea back then. And so Georges Méliès picked up on this massive and built these crazy sets, made these very interesting sort of magical films with lots of narrative. If you want to know more about that, you can watch the film Hugo by Martin Scorsese, or you can stay tuned in the series, and I will definitely be going through some cinema of attractions films and some Georges Méliès films. But this is one of the first ones, The Astronomers Dream. This basically just has some cool effects in it. It has a narrative, it has a wizard, it has a crazy moon face. It just has a lot more energy and life and fantasy. It is pretty cool. When you sort of look at the films that I've talked about and see this stuff coming out, and you know, if you'd never seen a film before and then you saw that in a little tent in a theme park or a circus, and I think this is a cool little film. It's got a cute little narrative, quite nightmarish and quite surreal. It's cool and I like it. Following that very strongly is just a sort of experimental short film. This is yet another Georges Méliès film, where he just sort of plays with the medium. And yeah, this one has some very cool colour sort of effects. It would be actually individually painted frame by frame to sort of achieve this effect. Yeah, the Pillar of Fire. Now obviously the colour isn't perfect. This is a super early instance of trying to achieve colour in film. You know, Wizard of Oz, which is regarded as the first proper colour film, that wasn't until almost 40 years later. So yeah, this is it's very cool for the time. And the set design is proper cool, just like the last film. Like, I love the backdrops and paintings behind the characters in this, like behind the actors. It just looks so charming and just fantasy-like. I love the style of it. And now my number 1 choice, The Haunted Castle. Another one of these cinema of attractions, Méliès type films. And this one takes it all to another level, you know. It's got colour, which is not the best colour. It's got jump cutting and stuff, just like the Mary Queen of Scots films. It's got cool editing, you know. It's very alive. Just seeing all these characters appear from place to place. Yeah, it's very well done, very well edited. There's not really a lot you can say about these films. They're very simple, very early days. But yeah, we're starting here, and as I go along, it's just going to get more and more interesting, and there's lots of innovations to look forward to, like sound, colour. I'll be back shortly with the 1900 to 1905, I reckon it'll be to start off with. I still don't think there's enough films to cover each of those years, so... But yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for sort of going through this little journey through time with me, and yeah, we'll pick right up where we left off soon. So yeah, stay tuned.